In the United States, and in many other parts of the world, political perspectives have shifted from liberal to more conservative positions. It is not unusual for this swing between conservative and liberal positions to occur, but not on such a grand scale as we have today. Try to imagine a large and heavy pendulum, balanced perfectly in its middle with no energy pushing it left or right. In this phase, people want change but remain tolerant of differing views. Then something comes up in the environment that challenges individual perspective. The pressure begins to evolve. People of one view begin to hold a firmer and more rigid position on their beliefs. They naturally gravitate to others who share their views, and over time, combined with the power of the collective consciousness, begins to form a team of aligned minds. These new collectives put pressure on the pendulum and move it toward their position. Naturally, the opposing group feels the move and counters with their own collective push. This may or not move the pendulum, depending on many factors, but will raise awareness that something is afoot. At this stage, there is still an ability to work together with the opposing sides, as the issue is still abstract and has not become personal. It remains an issue that can be discussed, and compromise is possible. The next stage in the evolution of pendulum shift happens when the collective of both sides sees a value in a shift from the middle and are willing to negotiate for a workable alliance. These are happy days overall, but like with any compromise, those things given up are still floating in the background. Most people and groups dislike giving up on things they value, but so long as the winning position has enough strength to hold the pendulum in its position, it will remain so. The collective in agreement continues to support the move. There may be times when it wobbles and moves left of right of its current place, but never enough to swing back to the middle or toward the opposite pole. It is a time when people voice opinions, form smaller, more specialized collectives, and work toward change through concessions and compromise. It is a functional time when one side or the other does not have the ability to sustain change, but movement can be seen in both directions. As the pendulum moves further from rest, it requires more energy to hold it. The empowered group needs to increase the level of support through community-building efforts and campaigns, etc., until enough power is gained to hold the pendulum in place. This is the time that the opposition group will feel the pressure of their beliefs and position, and will be reluctant to support the opposing position. They will begin to rally around their belief, and begin to take stronger dislike of the opposition, and even begin to personally dislike the members of the opposition. Tension begins to run higher, with both sides not wanting to work together. Conversations around this issue can still happen, but often fail as tempers and personal attacks begin to take the place of cooperation. Should the pendulum get pushed so far that it is at its height, it takes more energy to stay there and wants to return to the balance of the middle. If the empowered position can maintain this level or energy for a long enough time, the whole on both sides accepts the core concepts as the norm guards go down, and the winning side becomes complacent in feeling that the way things are is the natural order of life. However, those who are dissatisfied with the current situation will persist in seeking positions of influence to effect meaningful change. This is where the United States is today. For the last 16 or so years, the pendulum, that at that time swung far left and was moving even further, ran into a sudden burst of more conservative opposition. Enough energy was formed to pull the pendulum free, and it quickly moved right. We are in a present time when the anger and created fear of the right has pulled so hard on the pendulum that it not only moved to the middle, but used all its energy to swing it completely right. For better or worse, it was an unnatural shift, deliberate, and without the support of any opposition members. When such an artificial shift happens, strong division takes place when neither side has a chance to process some middle ground. As a result, division takes place with both sides digging in deep. This is where we are today. We see a division in the country where once there was the idea of compassion and respect for opposing thoughts. This has been replaced with anger, authoritarian practices being led by a party that put terror over cooperation. The long-held beliefs of the United States of democracy, adherence to the Constitution, balance of power, civil rights have all come under fire. This occurs when one faction has moved far left or right, and has stopped considering the feelings of opposition members. It is what happens when enough people share common thoughts, good or bad, to the point that there is no other position. Now it is moving toward a fascist state. Many long-held truths are being ignored, and illegal and unconstitutional actions are being accepted as right. We are close to an omega point, a point when enough people share through collective conscious beliefs that it creates a reality based on those principles. These moments can be a positive experience when this occurs, if the beliefs support the positive well-being of everyone. If they do not, you get society that does not value the diversity of its people. They look to control and demonize opposition groups, and dismantle systems meant to protect everyone. This closely resembles events in 1930s Germany. The fascist state lasted a relative moment in time, but caused millions of lost lives. What must happen now? Because the current dramatic shift was not a natural one, it may not contain the strength to hold on to power. This is because its principles aren't accepted by the public. The story they tell is not supported by the Constitution, or in the hearts of the people. We value diversity. Remember in our collective the value we have for our immigrant foundation. We value individual rights, freedom of speech, and the right to pursue individual freedoms. We strongly dislike royalty, fascism, and any form of dictatorial rule. On the other end of the spectrum, we equally hold conservative values of independence and capitalism. We pride ourselves on state rights and strong cultural independence, and would equally oppose an unnatural extreme shift to the left. We are people who hang around the middle and tolerate shifts left and right of center, but are most comfortable near the middle. It should not be the goal to have left overpower right or right overpower left. If we can throw away all the false narrative and dismiss the fools that spew hateful rhetoric and begin to relax back into conversation, the energy holding the imbalance of the pendulum will subside and return to the middle and regain balance. Balance is the true omega point we need to reach.